pretty exciting time for the Material Handler group. We're coming out this year, as you saw, really came out with 6 brand new material handlers, and they're all really well performers. This is our last, I guess, line, the smaller ones, the 3026 or the 3022, rounding out the next gen line. So with next generation, what we do with that is we basically, I tell people, we take what has worked in the past with our F series and as well as some of the older material handlers. That's being the booms, the sticks, the undercarriages, all your base structures, okay? Those are the most important parts of a material handler. And then we marry it with what's currently working today, the next gen excavator and wheeled excavator. I guess I call it the chassis, but the engines, the pumps, stuff like that, as well as the next generation excavator and wheeled excavator cab. So a lot of times where that's important is you got people jumping in and out of different machines on a scrap yard or a waste transfer station. If they have another next gen vehicle in there, they can really jump in and be familiar with it. And we'll take a look here. So right here we have a demo and sorting grapple. All this does, it's a G318. It just closes like this where you can grab your demolition or a waste. We have a waste one specifically for waste where these perforations are a little bit smaller, okay? This is what we call the skeleton grapple. This allows fines to drop out before you load in a truck, so you're not filling your truck up with fines. The waste grapple, since waste and garbages can fly out of there, that's why those tines are a little bit shorter. Here, just bolts up. We do offer quick disconnects. On our boom and stick standard, with all the material handlers within Caterpillar, both the high pressure, the bigger tube there, and the medium pressure standard equipment on Cat material handler. So what that allows, your high pressure is going to be your open close, and then your medium pressure is going to be your rotation. So this grapple rotates 360 degrees either way, and it tilts like this, and it also opens and closes, okay? So where that's important, if you're sorting material or if you're loading a truck, a lot of times, depending on your truck size, if you have a orange peel grapple or one of those square grapples like that, you can't open it fully into the truck to disperse your load. So this also is really nice grapple because it allows you, if you're feeding a material recovery facility or a infeed, it allows you to meter your load throughout that, so you don't clump it all up at the beginning of the infeed and cause problems downline. Okay, so we offer auto lube as standard on these. We grease everything from the swing bearing up with our auto lube, well protected. It's all Cat hoses, Cat BAP manifolds. Also here, we talked a little bit about in class, with the 3 models, the 22 through the 26, we have a number of 22 combinations that you can get booms and sticks, okay? This is what we have, a material handler boom. It's more straight, okay? We also have your traditional kind of, you see it over there on the big excavators, your excavator style boom, which is what we call a one-piece boom. And then we also have a variable angle boom, which is going to be like on that little excavator over there. It has a little snub boom on it there. So we offer all those, and then we also, for sticks, we offer various lengths of sticks in both this traditional bucket linkage stick, which is like a traditional excavator, as well as a drop nose stick. Okay, that's more used in scrap or when you have a free swinging tool. So with next gen, we'll move on back this way. With next gen, you can get it with or without a blade. Some guys in the waste industry like that blade to clean up the floor. Also, we've widened the undercarriage, as we talked about in class. It allows you to pick farther out. You have more stability, as well as we've improved our covers for the cylinders, because a lot of times, if you guys been to a transfer station or a scrap yard, there's debris everywhere, and it falls and scores your cylinders, and then you're in big trouble. So that's kind of what we did there. Also here, the steps, and then here's, if you want to come this way, I can show you kind of that glass that we talked about. As you can see, this is the P8 glass, and you can see how thick it is. It's almost like an impact resistant glass. That is an inch thick. We also offer glass that is 0.4 inches thick. So that's going to be in your front window and your top as well, because a lot of times you have stuff coming down from the top. So looking at our cab, what don't you see in there? Yep. You can get a steering wheel as an option, but with next generation, it's all joystick steering, okay? And it's really great because when you're, and Keith kind of showed you in the demo on how close you can get that grapple and you want to be able to see down and pick material, not having that steering wheel in front of you is really, really key. To get in here, you can either climb up this way or you can rotate the house 90 degrees or 180 degrees and come up some steps, okay, if you're not wanting to get up that way. So, any questions so far? Alrighty. And then you can see the monitor in there. It's the same one used as the next gen. So that's going to house all your camera views right there, and you can swipe between them. Kind of like, think of it as a big iPad. You just swipe it between your camera views, as well as go in and program all your controls. Because it's electro-hydraulic, or EH as we call it in the industry, you can just, it's like downloading an app to your iPhone or your Android and picking up where you want things. So it's very, very easy. So here's our auto lube system. If you have to get up top, to change the hydraulic oil filter, but that's every 6,000 hours. So you really don't need to be getting up top. Here you have your fuel cutoff switch as well as your master switch. And you have your hydraulic oil check, your def fill, and then up there is your fuel. So we have this step here, so you're not trying to straddle this and take a fuel hose up there. We have this platform that folds down and allows for easy access to the fuel. And then your batteries, of course. So if we walk around the back, I'll show you that platform or that step that you can get on. So what you do is you rotate, what we call this the house, okay? So you rotate the house, climb up here, and then climb right in the cab. So it's really nice for when you have wet, cold conditions with ice. We have our chassis light as well as the rear view camera, okay? That is standard, the rear view and the right side. When you get the 360-degree option, it adds a camera to the left side and it adds a camera up to the front of the cab. So like Brian showed today, that view of the medium wheel loader, it's the exact same thing. So we all use the same camera system. It's good for parts commonality and dealer stocking and all that.
Do you have to toggle through the camera images, or are they all kind of stitched together in some way?
On the 360,
yeah,
they're all stitched together. Okay. But what you can do if you don't want, like for the standard cameras, you can choose what format you want them on the screen, sure, and you just switch like that. So you might want left on or right side on top, rear on bottom. If you want it reverse, you just swipe it and it'll flip it right over. So if we work on over this side, this is where all the daily checks are. We talked about the importance of having ground level checks. You're going to have your engine oil check, your water separator check, as well as up in there, there's a light that comes on, but it's timed out to check your coolant. So everything is ground level, so you don't have to be climbing on the machine to check your daily fluids. Toolboxes are standard, and then also is auto reversing fan. So you guys have been to, who's been to a transfer station? No? Everybody know what a transfer station is? Okay. Who's been to a scrapyard? There's stuff all over the place, isn't there, in the air? I mean, you get debris all over the place. So we've made auto reversing fans standard, as well as for the trash application, we have this little vibrator on the vibrating motor on the thing. So we pull air in from this way and exhaust it up the top, okay? So what that's going to do, it's going to pull air against the screen, and there's paper and everything in the air, okay? So it pulls against here. So you can program it for factory setting is to have your fan reverse for 20 seconds every 20 minutes, but if you're in a high airborne debris application, you can adjust those intervals as well as those durations. So what it does is it vibrates the screen and while it's reversing, and it allows to purge that material from the screen. Also, if you look at our screen here, it's both corrugated and perforated. Why do you think that might be? Corrugation is, if you get a piece of paper stuck up against here, you still have ways to get air around that piece of paper, okay, and get into your cooling core so you're not overheating. And then you also have these little holes. They are spaced the right size, so if debris gets through those holes, it's going to get through your cooling core. So you're not plugging up your core. So it's a really nice system to have. And everything's single plane and swing out. So you can easily get in here with a wand, pre-shift, post-shift, and clean it out. Also important for our applications is we have boom lowering check valves as well as stick check valves. So what that does is these things right here and up at the top of the cylinder there. So say you have a hose go out or something like that, and you have a full grapple of material over a truck or something like that, and it goes out, it's going to prevent that boom. If you blow a hose, it's going to prevent that boom from lowering onto the side of the truck. Okay. Another feature we didn't get a lot of time to talk about in class, which is really nice, is the auto axle lock, auto brake and axle lock. So why that's important in a scrapyard or a transfer station, a lot of times if they're going around and moving around the site, and a lot of the guys don't put these down until they have to really reach out far. So what the auto axle lock does and the auto oscillation does is the machine senses itself, and if it's 0 speed with no input on the pedal, it'll automatically apply the service brake. So the operator doesn't have to hold on the brake while he's operating. It'll automatically apply the service brake, and it automatically locks the axle so it's not oscillating. So why that's important is, say the operator swings over to the side and has material but not the outriggers on. If the axles weren't weren't locked, it'd be like on a loader going over rough terrain. It would move and the machine would dive down on him, or on him or her, and you could really get in some trouble. But with it locked, it's basically a nice solid footprint. Okay, you don't have to worry about it diving down on you. And then as soon as you start moving forward, or ground speed greater than 0, is that it releases itself. So it's really, really intuitive. And then I think we talked about the cab avoidance. That can be set as well as the e-fence. So if you're in tight working conditions, just like the excavators, if you guys know kind of what the excavators offer, same exact system.